Hello everyone and welcome to Mystery Monday live on Facebook. And hi if you're watching the replay here or on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Just getting myself organised. Lovely, now I can see chats. So if you do come on, do remember to say hello. We'd love to hear from you. Hi Caroline, how are you? And hi Deborah. I did forget to mention you will also need a paper trimmer tonight if you're wanting to make along with me as well, because we will be cutting up the piece of A4 cardstock. My name is Lucia Byzantine. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And like I said, if you do start watching, just a quick hi would be nice, just so I know who's there as well. So what we're doing today is actually using some designer series paper as well. I am using Beauty of the Earth designer series paper, and we do actually have a sale on at the moment for designer series paper until the 2nd of August, and it is on 9 selected styles of the designer series paper. And like I said, the Beauty of the Earth is one of them that I'm using tonight. Okay, so I might just waffle on a little bit just so that some people can join us if they're wanting to make along with us. The other thing that's available as well is there is a free digital download on the Stampin'Up store. So if you go to my site here, and you can go to shop now, if you go to the store, then you go to sales and specials. Under sales and specials there is actually a free creative download, it's called, and you'll be able to download that. There are some images and there are some sentiments as well, that you can then print off and make some cards from as well, which is quite a good thing to do as well. And a nice way to use things and get an idea of what Stampin' Up's about before actually purchasing stamps and things as well. So I will show you what we're making tonight, because you don't want to be going blind and not knowing what we're doing. So we're actually making a triple pop-up cube card tonight. Now I don't know what the best way to hold this is so that you can see it. So this is what we're making. Okay. So it's a triple cube, but we can actually still fit it inside an envelope. Now just let me check, because I do have some envelopes here. Just really quickly, I will grab one out. So it is only a small little cube, because that will actually still fit in a C6 envelope. Okay, so unfolding it again, and that's what it is. So basically what we're doing is we're going to make, and at the back you've actually got a little place that you can write on, so you can, when that's all folded up, that will be flat and nice and easy to write on as well. Okay, when it's opened up, so like I said, there's 3 cubes, so we'll be making the longer cube, and then we'll make these 2 little cubes that we pop on the sides as well. And then we do have a sentiment that you can still pop on it, and you can pop a sentiment down in this bit here, and that's actually on a hinge. So it's got a little circle, and on the other side is a little circle as well. So I can show you how we do that. So then that will sit nicely as well. Okay, so that's it. I might just... Actually, when I get my trimmer out of the way, I'll sit it up in this corner. Yeah, I might have to bring it down to show you what we're doing anyway, though. So, hi Joan, how are you? So, like I was saying, I have got my 2 white bits, and the white bits, I didn't write down the measurements for those, but I think they were 9.5 by 4.5, and those will be fitting just at the back here. I do have some mounts, and they are 4.5 by 4.5 centimeters, and I have 6 of those, and I have used the Mossy Meadow for those. And then with the Designer Series paper, I have got again 6 pieces of the 4.5 by 4.5 square, but I also have another 6 pieces that are 4 by 4 centimeters as well. Okay, so the 4 by 4, we're going to pop on the mounts that are 4.5. Okay, there are my circles to put my sentiment on, which I didn't cut one out, so I will do that for you while we're here. And then we've got our piece of A4 cardstock. So we might start with our A4 cardstock and actually cutting that up. Sorry, I will take that cube out of the way just so that you can see what I'm doing here. So I am going to pull my side out, and I hope you can see the bottom of that as well. Yep, okay. So with our cardstock, I'm going to cut that so it is 20 by 22 centimeters. So this is already 21, so I'll cut the 22 this way. So I'm just coming to the 22 on my paper trimmer. Cut that off, and then I'll turn it round and we'll go 20 for this one. And cut that little bit off that. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it round so we've got our 22 piece along the base. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to score it at 5, 10, 15 and 20 centimeters. Okay, so we have our 2 blades here. I'm going to take our cutting blade out of the way and just have our scoring blade here. And I'm just going to go, and remembering we've got our 22 centimeters here, 20 centimeters up. Okay, so we are going 5, 10, 15, and then 20. So you can just see there, I've got a little 2 centimeter piece here at the end, and the rest are just in the 5, well, they're all in 5 centimeter increments, but it just leaves you with that little 2 centimeter piece here. Okay. So what I'm now going to do is spin that around. Okay. And what I will do is I am going to cut off 2 5 centimeter pieces. So we'll end up with 2 5 centimeter pieces and a 10 centimeter piece then. So now I am using my cutting blade, and we're going to go a 5 centimeter piece, and a 5 centimeter piece, which will then leave us with 10 centimeters. Okay, so that is the basis for our cubes. So I will get rid of our trimmer now because we won't need that anymore. But what I will need is a bone folder. Actually, I might grab my older one out so I don't get my new one dirty. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just score all of those score lines that we did. Okay, and now when you're scoring, I don't know whether you noticed, but when you're scoring, you end up with a little mountain on one side and a valley on the other. I actually fold it so that the mountain is on the inside and the valley is on the outside. Because where the valley is where all your fibres of your cardstock have already been crushed a little bit, and it just makes it that little bit easier to fold that way then as well. So continuing on. And scoring all of those. Okay, and the last one there. So just going to pop those up there. What I'm going to do is join this one together first. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue here, and leaving it folded like that, I will actually glue it down, because then when we lift it up, it will still fold out nicely. Okay, so on that little flat bit, a 2 centimetre piece that's sticking out is where I'm going to put my glue. And I have found I've made a couple now. This will be my 3rd one, so I haven't made many. But I have found that the glue works really well to stick it. So you could either use the glue, or you can use a double-sided tape as well, would be fine. Just with the glue, again, be careful that it doesn't ooze out, because you don't want it to stick on the inside. So there is our first piece. Okay, so we've got our tall cube made already. Okay, and then we have these 2 pieces. Now, what I have found, and I have watched quite a few people do this, and I do have to thank a fellow demonstrator, Leslie Lendon, and she's from the UK, and she actually applies all her bits to hers before she assembles it, and it just makes it less awkward to assemble then when you do that. So we will do it that way as well. So like I said, we've got all our plain cardstock, and I'm just going to apply all those little squares of designer series paper to them now. And like I said, it's just easier doing it now than it is doing it later, and especially with the ones inside. There are 2 that we do have to put on once it is made up, but the rest of them we can do whilst it's before it's assembled. So talk amongst yourselves while I do a little bit of sticking here. And I'll just pop all these down. And for those of you that are taking part in the class, I have got my class on Friday night that's happening. And I always do a online card class, which is the 2nd Friday of every month. So the next one will now be August, and for August I will be using the hand penned designer series papers and the dies that go with those. So I will have those made up by the end of the week and be able to show you what you'll be making for the next class as well then. The other thing as well, and I will say it at the end too, is that I won't be around for Mystery Monday next week as well. I've decided that while I can, we're heading down to Tassie to see family. So I'm going down with my son, and we'll stay there for a few days, which will be nice just to catch up with people. Because at the moment, the way things are, you just don't know when you can do things. So I figure when you can, you might as well. So sorry, this is a bit boring, but I hope those of you who are making it are able to keep up as well. Hi Paula, how are you? Yeah, going down is a good idea, I think. And again, the glue I like, because with these, because they're little bits, it's nice to be able to move them and just get them straight on the mounts as well. Whereas when you use the double-sided tape, you sort of don't have any room for error at all. Okay. And last one going on there. Rightio, so that's done. So I am going to bring these 2 back in now, and what I am going to do is, we folded the cube that way. These pieces that I've just stuck together are going to go on the outside of the cube. Okay, so I'll pop that one that way, and I'll pop this one that way as well. So when we go to pop these on, they're actually going to go there and there. because when it gets folded up, I really want that join to be out of sight and out of mind down the bottom there. Okay, so they go both in the middle. Alrighty, so we shall pop those on, and that's the same with both of the cubes. So one there. How long are you away for, Paula? Are you there all holidays or just for part of the holidays? Because they are only just starting holidays this week, aren't they, down there? As in school holidays. So we're going next week, so it will be the second week of the school holidays in Tassie. Like I said, this is just so much easier to do when everything is flat. Might be getting a little low on glue. Okay, if you've got a one directional, a directional DSP, you would have to be doing it so that your strips are vertical. Now, the one thing I did notice though, when I've made mine up, do them the opposite way, because one of them has got the strip at the top and one of it's got it at the bottom. So if you're doing it so that they're both the same with your little 2 centimeter bits here, make sure one's upside down and one's the right way up, because that's kind of how it works out when you put it together, if you understand that. So one will kind of go on, one's that way, so that will be the top. I don't know why it worked out that way for me. Yeah, and the other one's that way. Whether it's just because I've put it on the other way and we can still go. No, it doesn't matter what way actually. You could do either way, Deborah. So as long as you've got them, these are vertical. And then your pattern will be going up and down this way. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So once I have done that, I'm then going to flip them over. And now what I'm doing is putting these inside pieces on, okay? So when I do these, I'm actually going to put one here, but the other one, I actually want to hide the seam inside. So the other one I'm just going to stick onto the edge there, and then I'm going to flip it over and stick this side down. So then my seam inside will all be covered. Okay, so I will show you exactly what I mean by that as well. So first one I will just stick on as normal. Oh, now Deborah, I'm not sure how it goes, how you're going to do the ones on the inside, because I've not done one with directional DSP yet. So if that's that way, that's that way. Do you know what, you're not going to see the inside much anyway, but if that's with your top that way, the top will have to be at the top of these as well. I think if you just fold it yourself, and you'll be able to sort of judge what way it's got to go then as well. So with this next piece, I am just going to pop a little bit of glue on here, making sure I'm leaving my edges without glue, because this has got the little border around it. I'm just going to stick that way. Now I have got a little bit of glue sticking out there, so I'm just going to wipe that up. Okay, so what I've done is just stuck it onto the end of the flap. Okay, so then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put glue all over this now. And I'm going to fold that way and then fold this completely over the top. So then that will all be stuck down. You've got your two pieces on the inside, but we've covered that seam on the inside as well then. Okay, so I'll show you again. We've got those two there. So like I said, I'll just check with this one what way I'm going as well. So like I said, if I'm putting that on that way, that's going to be my top here. Okay, so I'm going to want my top inside to be at the top of that one. So it'll be at the top of each one. So when I come down to here, your top would be here. And the top for your next one would be here. But like I said, probably the best way is to actually fold it as you're going as well, so that you can see yourself. I don't know if I can write it down somehow for you. If you've gone that way. Yeah, so it depends, because it is going to depend which way you've gone, because then if you've gone your top on that side, yeah, so it is, you're just going to have to fold it. So depending on how you've done the outside, then just open it up and make sure the top's on the same place on the inside as well. I hope you kind of understand that. I will make one up that's directional as well, and I will put some instructions down. And pop them on the site for you. I did not really think of that, only because none of mine have been directional that I've made. I didn't think that through really. So again, I'm just sticking some glue onto the flap and sticking the designer series paper over that. Then I'm going to flip it over. And on the back of that 2 centimetre flap, I'm going to cover that with glue, and also the back of the designer series paper. Turn it over and fold it down. Okay, and next cube. Alrighty. So when we go to the next bit, this one has got a seam in it as well. The seam, I'm wanting to go down flat on the back. Okay, so when I stick the 2 bits on top, I want them to be on the front of the seam. So seam at the back here, and I'm sticking on the front here. Okay, and what you're sticking, and you do just have to hold it up, so you're going to have one of your bits of designer series on the top here and one here. So when you fold it up, you have no designer series paper and one. Okay, so the glue is going to go here. And I'll do the same with the other one. So then it will go down that way, and that will go down that way. I'm just going to make sure that it all lines up. So if you just sit it up that way, you can pop it on the table and just make sure that this bottom edge is all straight and flat. So once all that is stuck down, it should open up so that you've got your designer series paper on the top and the front, but then it will still fold up. Okay, so then the rest of it we do have to do while it's assembled. So you've still got 2 of these left, which will go on the fronts here, and you still do have 2 of the single pieces of designer series paper. They are going to go on the inside, and it will cover up that seam on the inside as well. Okay, so those ones are a little bit trickier because you've got to do it while it's assembled, and that's why I like it. Like I said, this was the best video I saw because she did it, most of it, whilst it was all flat, which, like I said, just makes it less messy, that's all. So pop that one down. And the next one. Okay, so that's giving it to you on the both sides. And like I said, then you've got the 2 bits to go on the inside. So we're just going to go straight down. And stick that in. The same with the next one. Straight down. And stick that in. Just going to press that flat as well. Then you've got those 2 little bits on the inside as well. So once we have those on, we've got the 2 bits for the back. And the reason for the 2 white bits at the back, you could either stamp on them or just leave them as they are, because this is where you will write your greeting for the card. Sorry, just change glues here. That one was a bit done, I think. That's better. This one's got a bit more in it. That's a good idea, using a pencil to mark what way you need to put things. I will put a few instructions on my site as well, though. Might be a good idea. I mean, mine are very, I can show you what mine look like. They're very basically drawn, but so these 2 I'm just popping onto the back. Yeah, so I can't even take a photo of mine because mine are like really basic. So, but I will, like I said, I will pop something up for you. Okay, so that is the base of our card done. So what I've also seen a lot of people do is without the designer series paper, they've actually put plain and then they've cut out dies and things to put on all these front pieces. Probably not the top one, but they've put them on the 2 front sides of the cube. And like I said, when I've done mine, I've just put a sentiment on the top here. So I am going to just grab my cut and emboss machine down, and we will just stamp. I would say happy birthday would be good. So I'm just going to use the artistically inked and grab the happy birthday from that. And a block. I will find some white cardstock. Which is usually a bit of it lying around. Okay. And a die. I might use the same die I used for the other. What I might also do, because that will actually be really quite white and glary, I might use from the same stamp set this little splotchy bit at the back, the ink. And just stamp that down first. So let's move him out of the way a little bit. I might just grab a little bit of scrap paper to stamp on. And another block. Now, colour-wise, we might still use the Misty Moonlight, but what I might do, excuse me guys, what I might do is stamp it off so it's a lot lighter. So by stamping it off, what I mean is it will be quite light anyway, because this is a distinctive stamp and it doesn't stamp to its full strength anyway. So full strength, and I'll just do it on the scrap paper first. Full strength is that, but that's actually quite dark and I don't think we'll see the happy birthday on top of that. And I think second generation still might be a bit dark. So what I might do now is go third generation, which will be quite light, on top of that. So we've just got a nice little border at the back, a nice little stamp at the back there, just so that there's a bit of an image and it's not just on stark white. Sorry, just cleaning up my stamp. Just using the Simply Chamois. Sorry, pop things away. If I don't pop things away straight away, I put them down and I tend to lose them. I'm not very good at keeping track of things. So what I'll do now is with the happy birthday, I will do that full strength so it stands out on the background then. Just a nice firm, there you go. It stands out nicely on it then. Alrighty. Sorry, I was going to have it all organised and ready beforehand, but obviously forgot this bit. So pop away our ink. Sorry, I just reached over you. So now what I will do is with the cut and emboss machine, I'm just going to get some washi tape to pop on that so it doesn't move anywhere. Hopefully I haven't heard anything about it, but we did have the magnetic plate before. So when I do find out when the new magnetic plates are coming out, I will let you know. But like I said, we've not actually heard anything as yet, so hopefully it's still in the works somewhere. Okay, so there's our little cut and emboss machine. I am using plates. When you buy a cut and emboss machine, it does come with the plates that you need to cut things as well. Oh, fantastic, Caroline, you're done. So that, yeah, the plates come with it. So you do get these plates as well as the plates that you use for the embossing folders as well, which are these two here. Okay, So for the dies, I'm going to use plate number 1, and it does give you the instructions on here. Plate number 2 and another plate number 2. Okay, pop that through. And just wind it through there. Okay. And that is one sentiment done then. So now this is the interesting bit, because to actually attach your sentiment, it kind of has to sit on the corner. So what we're going to do is make a little hinge. So what I've done is I've pre-cut some circles. They're actually circles I had left over from one of my dies that cuts circles, and I can't remember the name of the die. It's one of the new ones. It's a die that does this. And so I've got a whole heap of white circles, so I'm just trying to use them all up when and where I can. Just reuse, recycle. So I am just going to fold these two in half. And what I'm going to do is on one side of them is, the glue might work just as well for this, but I am going to use double-sided tape because I just feel it's a little more secure. So on one side of both of the circles, I'm putting some double-sided tape. Now I have seen some demonstrators actually pop this little hinge behind their sentiment. I did that with one of them and I couldn't get it on straight. I wasn't very successful at that. So what I am going to do now, this is my sticky side. I'm going to stick this to the left. So that will go there. Then I've got my sticky side here. I'm going to stick that to the right. Okay, so we end up with that sort of thing happening. Alrighty. So now, once you've folded the circles down back on themselves, yeah, do you know what? Just a square, anything would work. I just had the circles lying around, so that's why I've used the circles for my hinge. But you could use anything, just as long as you're just folding it in half. That's the main thing. Okay, so I've got my 2 bits of double-sided tape on those. Just peel those off. This is where you take a pick tool, would come in handy if you don't have nails. So now, because that's already down, I can now line this up and pop it down on top of it. Okay, and what that will do then is when we go out, it just sits on the angle there. So it does sit quite nicely. And the other thing it doesn't impede on is when you go to fold your card up as well. So you can still do everything. And like I said, if you're going to put any elements on it, just make sure that you can still fold it up. So you don't want, and not even just fold it up, make sure you can still pop it in the envelope, because that's the other thing. You can have things so that they sit up further. So on this top box, you could have even put some ferns and things that were going up further. And I've probably got some little things cut out here, or maybe not. Let me see. Thanks. I've got these little bits here that are already cut. Not that I would stick these on, but if you had something like that sticking up from the top here, it wouldn't matter because that's all going to fold up and that would still sit in the envelope. So that could look quite nice, because when you've got the Forever Fern pieces, like some of those, especially in those papers, because they still match, you could have those sitting up at the top of your card as well, which would be a nice addition. So I might do that before I even post it on Facebook as well, just so that you can see what else you can do with it. So that's that one there finished. That was the other little one I had made up. Now the one where my hinges didn't work as well was this one here, and you can see how they're not very even. I've got one sort of hanging one way, one hanging another way. So like I said, I think I figured out the way we've done the hinges tonight, I think work well, because they kind of sit nice and flat. Like I said, it still all folds up and everything, but it's just that my sentiments are sort of sitting in two different directions in that one. But like I said, a great way to use up some designer series paper. A cute little card as well, because I mean you could do all sorts of things. Like I said, I will post some more things. I've just received a new stamp set as well, which is the baby. And I can't find it now. It had all the little clothing elements on it, and so what I will do is I'll make one up with that. Sorry, just scanning the room here, but I still can't. Oh, there we go. I've got it here. So it's all for baby. And I've actually got the dies that cut all these bits out. So I will make another one with that and show you how that comes out, because that will be a little bit of a different look as well once you get some little elements on there too. So that is a kind of it. I did want to say that I still have a host code. Now for last month, Natalie DeBono has won the prize, which is a little die that I did get off the clearance rack. So these are the kind of little things that you can win if you order and use the host code. So she's getting these gorgeous little hearts. So that was called Detail Hearts die. So again, for the month of July, I'll do the same thing. Anyone who uses the host code, I'll put them in the drawer. There will be no Mystery Monday next Monday, but I'll be back on board in a fortnight's time. And the other thing is I'm able to order some new catalogues. So there will be a new seasonal catalogue that comes out. It will be mainly Christmas, Halloween, for those of you that celebrate Halloween as well, and some other beautiful, lots of beautiful stamp sets actually, and that starts on the 3rd of August. So if anyone would like a new catalogue, just let me know and I'll be able to post one of those out to you as well. So I'll just pop those in again. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that and you've learnt something new. And I will see you again in a fortnight's time. Thank you very much. Bye.